listening to the Fringianity Underground podcast. Fringe topics with a Christian point of view. Now here's your host, Leo Rutledge.
Today's episode will be on news and some rants to start off the new year. So with that, let's begin the show.
Having lost the election and lost the argument, the butthurt left and the rigged media is desperate to salvage some scrap of credibility. So they've decided to create a new panic over so-called fake news, pressuring Google and Facebook to take action against fake news websites. Oh, and when they say fake news, that includes any reporting or opinion that contradicts their leftist narrative. The blacklist that all the mainstream media websites are circulating as the official designation of what constitutes fake news includes InfoWars and Breitbart. Well, imagine my shock. But this list of fake news websites, it had to be created by a reasoned, level-headed, impartial source. There can't be any bias involved in this, right? Wrong. It was created by a radical leftist safe space social justice warrior assistant professor who describes herself as a feminist activist and who supports extreme left-wing groups like Black Lives Matter and Occupy Wall Street. Well, imagine my shock! So the media is circulating a list of fake news websites created by an incredibly biased left-wing social justice warrior, which just by coincidence is full of conservative news websites, and then demanding Google and Facebook censor that content. This is all happening while Twitter also mass purges so-called alt-right accounts for daring to express unauthorized opinions. They're also promoting a Chrome browser extension that automatically flags so-called fake news websites based on this same SJW-created blacklist. And, imagine my shock, Infowars.com is on that list. Listen, we all know that there are actual fake news websites. They're pretty easy to spot, and some of them even admit that they're fake news websites. But there's a difference between fake news stories like this and having a conservative opinion. And anyway, who gave the mainstream media the right to be judge, jury, and executioner of what constitutes fake news? All you do is put out fake news. You're the aficionados of fake news. You put out the fake news that Hillary Clinton was 98% likely to win the presidency. You printed out and shipped copies of Newsweek celebrating Madame President. You said the Cubs had a smaller chance of winning than Donald Trump. You put out fake rigged polls that were proven spectacularly wrong. You put out fake rape stories that ruin people's lives over and over again. You fake interviews with your own cameramen claiming they're anti-Trump protesters. You create fake narratives like Trump being responsible for violence at his own rallies when it was DNC-funded agitators all along. By this measure, nearly every mainstream media outlet should be put on a fake news list. Oh yeah, and when some fake news website puts out a fake news story, the worst case scenario is that someone makes some ill-gotten advertising dollars. When the mainstream media peddles fake news, like the fake news story that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction, hundreds of thousands of people die. You're the f***ing experts at fake news, so how dare you accuse us of being fake news? And why the hell should anyone trust you? As WikiLeaks exposed, you're not the Fourth Estate, you're a public relations front for the Democratic Party. You lost the argument, you trashed your own credibility, and now you're trying to resurrect it by claiming that everyone who beat you is fake news. Give me a break. No one trusts you. That's why you have to resort to dirty tricks and censorship, and it's not going to work. Because you suck, you lie, and everyone knows now that you're fake news.
Welcome to 2017. Who knows what 2017 is about to bring? It started off with in the end of 2016, we got fake news. And that's only going to build, I'm sure, until they take away all of our freedom of speech. Unless Trump, of course, changes all this stuff. But we don't really know where he stands and what he's going to do. And whether or not this man has the power to literally step in and take away all these crazy, corrupt Nazis, basically, and their power. It seems like that's kind of what I call it, that because of Nazis wanted silence. You know, they wanted you to be silenced if you spoke against their system where they make laws to basically kill people. And that's really where we're going. And I know that rant that that InfoWars guy is, you know, he tends to go a little bit overboard and get a little too angry. And I don't believe as a Christian we're supposed to get all, you know, hate, you know, we're going to fight you, government, you know, because in the Bible it does say that God puts leaders in charge. And whether or not they're corrupt or not, I don't know. I don't know how that works. But it does say that God does put the leaders in charge. And God is in charge. God is in control of every single thing. Maybe he puts bad people in charge, not because he's a bad guy, but maybe he's testing them to see if they can handle the power, or maybe he's testing them because he knows that they have a wicked heart. They'll show their true colors if they have any kind of power, you know? And I don't know. I don't know everything. I don't know. And I know some of my opinions are unpopular with a lot of people. And this is just speculation. And many other podcasters have speculations and they state their opinions, and everybody's entitled to opinion. Last I heard, we're not completely unfree yet. But what I'm talking about here is probably going to be eventually labeled fake news if we continue down this system. And unfortunately, that's the way the world is moving. I mean, we're seeing a rise in a small percentage of people who basically the loudest people are heard. So, and the news, we know that the news is all covered, they're all corrupt. I mean, there's only six corporations that control all of the things that we know about in America. If all of them are working together in the same group, and they all agree on the same stuff, wouldn't it make sense that their media is going to be corrupt in that way? So I'm not crazy here. But the thing is these people are corrupt and wicked, and they want to steer the public in their propaganda, which comes straight from the government, it seems like, and corrupt people. And it's basically they're using propaganda to control the people and steer the people in the direction of the New World Order, so that they'll either rise up against the New World Order so that the UN can come in and whatever, or so that they'll just believe in the New World Order and they'll turn on those horrible radical Christians or patriots. Either way, it all works out for the New World Order. And that's really how Satan works. He don't care which way he has to go to win the battle, as long as he wins the battle. My point of doing this whole show is just I keep hearing this war drum beat, and it keeps getting louder and louder and louder. It's no wonder we have fake news, that they're talking about fake news, knowing that our regime that is changing, or supposedly changing when Trump gets in, is about to change or whatever, and it's like they're pushing all the buttons that they can at the last minute to make more chaos and more destruction. And Obama's up there doing that. You know, he's trying to make war with Russia, of course. We all know that. He hates Russia, I get it. We're told, oh my God, those Russians, they're out to kill us or whatever. But somehow we keep slipping money to ISIS, so which one is it? Who's the bad guy here? The guy who's trying to destroy ISIS? Or the people who keep on funding ISIS? Now, I mean, I love America. I love the thought of America the way it used to be, when we weren't funding the enemy of the world. But I can't stand with a government that takes my tax dollars and sends them off to God knows where, and it ends up in the hands of a person who's chopping the heads off my brethren, the Christians. Or worse, they're killing little kids, or they're just doing whatever, raping women. I mean, wherever all this ISIS crap goes, it turns into this big, huge nightmare. And it's a good thing for the New World Order, because then they can bring about their order out of the chaos, I don't know. It's just some theories that I have, and that's pretty much what this is. You're getting my opinion, okay? And my rants or whatever. This is my show. I'm going to say whatever I need to say, whatever I feel I'm just going to get it off my chest, okay? But this is really what's happening, is we keep on allowing our government to do terrible things in our name. Well, other countries look and go, my God, they're so corrupt, and, well, the American people aren't. In fact, I'd say most of the American people actually voted for Trump, not saying that he is the white knight that's going to save us. Jesus should be that white knight. But I'm saying that most people, I think, have voted for him or something in that category, whereas a small number of people voted for Hillary, and we still can't figure out who that group is because it's such a corrupt margin that we don't know exactly how many votes she really got or what was fake. And that's a fact. I mean, and there's people out there to sit there and complain and whatever, and they got these hate Trump pages on Facebook, and I don't understand that, because you actually go there and read what these people are saying, and they're talking about, oh, there's a pastor standing up for Hillary. That's the only real pastor there is. Whatever. Are you kidding me? Do you not know that Hillary has all of these emails, all this corruption, all around her? She's surrounded with corruption. And never mind those WikiLeaks with the pedophile stuff tied to it, with Podesta and all the people around Hillary having these satanic get-togethers and all this weird artwork. I mean, are you kidding me? But somehow they managed to not see any of all that. But Trump, oh my God. And that's another thing. When has it ever been right to put anywhere and say it anywhere to kill a president? I would never wish that on Obama even. No, I don't wish that on nobody. And back in the day, it's against the law to say that you wanted to do that to a president. So what makes it right suddenly now? Oh my God, Trump's in. You know what? You didn't have a problem when he was on TV. All of a sudden he runs for president. Oh my God, we hate him. Do you know why you hate him even? Do you have a good, honest answer? No. Oh, he's a racist. Prove it. Because it seems to me like there's black people hanging out with him. Racist? Okay. His wife's from another country. Racist? Okay. I mean, he's trying to help even Israel. I mean, the Jewish people even. So what? Don't even go there. Oh, don't even say he's a sexist. He hires women. It's just ridiculous. I can't get over how stupid people are. Yeah, I said stupid. If that's offensive, you don't have to listen. But that is it. They're stupid because they will not listen to reason or truth or anything. And I'm not completely on Trump's side. I don't completely agree that he's their great savior. And I'm tired of Christians saying that, oh, he's suddenly a Christian. Don't even go there. You don't have to make your leader into a Christian to be a leader, okay? So I don't understand why Christians are like, oh, he's changed. I don't care. Last I checked, the people that told me that he was a Christian or that are talking about how he's been blessed and turned into this great Christian, those Christian leaders are not the best leaders either. I think one of them promoted it's okay to have pornography or whatever, and she is talking to Trump? What? And she's a Christian leader. That's not Christian. If you're promoting pornography, that's not a Christian leader. That's a Christian deceived. You can't be promoting sin and call yourself a Christian. It's called conviction. You would know because you'd feel conviction to try not to do that. You wouldn't want to promote it. You wouldn't be proud of sin. If you're a Christian, you're never proud of sin. So anyway, now let's get into this other thing that's just happened, is Obama and the UN basically pushing to divide up Israel, to divide up God's holy land. Now, I'm probably going to say some things that's going to make some other people angry, but not every Jewish man or woman in the land of Israel believes in the God of the Bible. Okay? That's a fact. And not all of them are good. Just like not all white people are good, not all black people are good, not all Asian people are good, not all Indian people are good. I have to say that because apparently people they don't understand when you say that. So, because people like to get into these groups and, we're in a gang together, so you can't say anything bad about our gang. And it's all high school crap as far as I'm concerned. I'm not a part of a clique. I don't need to be part of your special group. I don't need to say only that person or only that group is right and only that group is wrong. Because at last I checked, Jesus wasn't looking at color. Jesus wasn't looking at sex. He was saying, whoever follows me will follow me and follow my commandments. Last I checked, he wasn't picking, only black people. Nope, that's not what Jesus said. He don't care about your color. It's something inside of you, not your skin color. Because we all know that the human body is a flesh suit made of sin, basically. So whatever color that skin is that's full of sin, because of the world is a sinful place, and the heart is corrupt and wicked, well, underneath all that, we have a spirit. It's steering that thing that we need to do. We need to steer that thing in the right direction, which is following Jesus. So now that I've said that, the land of Israel is God's land. That's his land, from the way I understand it in the Bible. Now, I'm not the most educated person when it comes to Israel and all of the stuff that God, how he deals with Israel. And you know what? It's up to God to deal with Israel. It's not up to me, okay? I'm just saying that there are bad Jewish people, there are good Jewish people. There are Christian Jewish people, and then there's other Jewish people, okay? And they all live in this really small little place, which used to be a lot bigger. But because of the Nazis, otherwise known as Obama, they see Israel as a threat in this terrible place that needs to be not even called Israel, because apparently they're Nazis. Because what did the Nazis do? They wanted to go to war with Jews and kill Jews. And they eventually, if they would have won, they would have killed all Christians. They would have killed everybody who disagreed with them. So it just was the Jews that they got a hold of. And I'm sure some people will say, it's the Jews that, planned all. Okay, whatever. But you know what? There were Jews killed, right? Yes. So whoever was in the way of the bullets that hit those people and who starved to death, those people were Jewish last I checked. And there was a lot of Christians dying too. So we don't ever hear the mention of the Christians that died, because I guess they didn't count. But the Jews did count too. They're people. All people count. But those people in that land right now, and by the way, here's one bad thing about it, okay? A lot of churches in America send their money to Israel to support Israel. Okay, that's fine. But here's the thing. They also send their money there. Any kind of Jewish man or whatever could speak at a church. And a lot of churches consider them instantly holy, even if they don't believe in the God that we worship. Because they're Jewish. We're not supposed to worship Jewish people. We're not supposed to worship any man. So that's not me hating Jews. I'm just saying that that's not right. And we send this money, getting back to my point, over to Israel, and then they have this giant parade, 250,000 people getting together for a gay parade. Well, is that Christian? But the churches are sending their money. Is that a Christian get-together in Israel? If that's the perfect land and they're perfect people, according to the way people look at the Jewish nation, then why are they supporting and being proud of sin? See, some people are good, some people are bad. Sin is bad. We love the person, we hate the sin, okay? So we need to stop getting into grouping ourselves. Oh, we're in that group. We're in that group. No, you're in that group. No, you're in that group. And then we all want to go to war with each other because of our group don't like another group or somebody said something bad about another group. You know what? I think Christians in general need to start uniting. That's one thing I'll give the Jewish people. They united at least. And they actually have one country where they're all living in one country together. What if all the Christians in the whole world just stood up one day? I'm not saying to rise up against your government and do violence and all this crap. I'm saying that what if all the Christians who say they're Christian actually believed in what they actually believe in and stood up for Jesus all at the same time and stood up in a biblical way? What if they did? Can you imagine the number of people that would be around the world? I don't think the New World Order would stand a chance. And that's just if Christians just stood up and they didn't pay their taxes. They just stopped everything because of the government's taking their money and doing immoral things against them. Imagine what would happen. That would be like somebody taking the carpet out from the governments of this world, the corrupt governments. And that's without any weapons, any violence. Oh, they would have to attack the Christians right away, though, because that would be terrible, because they can't do war without money. But that's just an idea I've always thought about. What if the Christians actually stood up united? But whatever, that probably won't happen until after Jesus comes back, because it seems like Christians don't get along. I mean, they're all fighting off and blah, 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 blah. They got special groups, gangs, and whatever. And I know I'm being cynical, but I mean, I've seen too much of this crap. I've gotten to the point just lately that I'm so sick and tired of fake people. I see a lot of fake crap out there. People just being so fake. They tell you, blah, blah, and they never do a damn thing. And yeah, I said a damn thing. That's not I don't think that's a swear word, really. But anyway, I'm just saying that they don't do anything. They just sit there and fight on Facebook and complain. Over Christmas. Oh my God, you put up a Christmas tree. You're a great sinner. You're going to hell. I'm honoring Jesus Christ. I'm not honoring the tree, okay? I'm not worshiping the tree. I'm not standing in front of it going, oh, look at the tree. No. And the lights, they're not bringing demons into my house. I'm sorry. If you turn on your lights during the year, or if you decorate your house in any way and you turn on lights that are decorations, are you bringing demons into your house when they're not Christmas? Because according to some people, Christmas lights are, demons can enter your house. Okay, if that's how you feel, then fine, don't put them up. Don't put up a Christmas tree. But don't tell me that I'm going to hell because of I put up a Christmas tree. My God, you want to talk about, really, get off of the internet and actually go out into the world and help somebody. Do something. Stop complaining at all the Christians and belittling them and taking away all their, whatever. Because I actually do stuff. But you don't see that because you only see my character on Facebook or you see what I've done, what I say on this podcast. You don't actually physically see me or nor me to judge me. So I've seen that before, and I'm just going to say it straight up. And if you don't like it, you don't have to listen to the show either. Because I've heard people sit there, blah, blah, and Christmas trees, and okay, I get it. Idols, okay, I get it. I know all about it. I see the Catholic Church worshiping idols all day long, and Mary, kissing little plastic dolls of fake Jesus, okay, I get it. But if we decorate our house, whether Christmas or not, for a birthday party even, is that satanic? Am I going to hell for that? And my God, if we have a wedding in our house and there's decorations here, are we going to hell for those decorations? Or is it just certain pagan ones? That's another little rant. Boy, I'm really ranting on this show. I'm just really bringing in the new year, I guess, with a whole lot of ranting. But these are things that really get on my nerves. I'm tired of hearing Christians bickering and complaining. Nothing makes me want to leave the faith. Of course, I won't ever, because I love Jesus, not your bickering. But my point is nothing makes me want to leave this religious cult that people call Christianity, which I'm not talking about the real Christianity, I'm talking about the fake one. Nothing makes me want to get away from that faster than when all I hear is, Christmas trees, people, keyboard warriors sitting there on the internet, blah, 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 blah. And while they're doing that, I'm out feeding somebody, or I'm doing something, I'm not trying to talk highly of myself. I'm just saying, is that what you're doing? With all that time you're spending with your keyboard and stuff, are you actually going out and helping somebody? Physically helping them? No. But I'm not a Christian. I'm not doing that because the Lord would want me to do that. No. So judge whatever you want. I'm just getting tired of this bickering, these Christian bickering. It's just getting irritating. I see it all too much on Facebook, back and forth. And I'm not saying my friends' groups. I've just seen these other groups. I've seen these hate Donald Trump pages. I look at some of this stuff and I'm like, how in the world do these people? What in the world? And then they call themselves Christian. It's like, you can't. Whatever. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to yell at everybody who listens to this show. It's just, this is my New Year rant, I guess. So with that, let's get into this Israel thing again. I'll play a little clip for you.
Israel's prime minister lashed out at outgoing U.S. President Barack Obama on Saturday, accusing him of a shameful ambush at the United Nations over West Bank settlements, and saying he's looking forward to working with his friend, President-elect Donald Trump. Benjamin Netanyahu's comments came a day after the United States broke with past practice and allowed the UN Security Council to condemn Israeli settlements in the West Bank and East Jerusalem as a, quote, flagrant violation, unquote, of international law. Although the U.S. might oppose the settlements, it has traditionally used its veto power as a permanent member of the Security Council to block resolutions condemning Israel, saying that disputes between Israel and the Palestinians must be resolved through negotiations.
So that's why Obama always calls ISIS ISIL, because of the Levant. In other words, he doesn't see Israel as he doesn't even count Israel as a land. And that's pretty pathetic. Whatever, that's enough about the Israel thing. Really, Obama is trying to push toward a nuclear war, basically, or start World War III with Russia over this election crap. He will not believe at all. He can't admit that Trump won fair and square. No, he has to keep on endorsing this idea that the Russians hacked our election. All those people that voted, he hacked their minds and suddenly, made them vote, or whatever. He might have hacked some emails or something and exposed all the corrupt people that we have running our country. I don't know. Whatever. So somehow Putin has magical powers to, maybe he's a Sith Lord from Star Wars, or some kind of maybe he's got the uses of the Force. I don't know. I can't quite understand it. And if that's how it works, I think over here we have the Empire. So I don't know what's worse. But anyway, here's another little clip, and this really sums up the man in charge right now, the Peace Prize winner, and his peaceful World War III that he's trying to start.
This is Joe Biggs with Infowars.com, and I think headlines are going to look a little something like this if World War III begins. Nobel Peace Prize winner starts World War III.
I receive this honor with deep gratitude and great humility.
He was cited for re-engaging America in global diplomacy, yet his Peace Prize came days after he ordered thousands more troops to war in Afghanistan.
The Norwegian Nobel Committee saw fit to give the Nobel Peace Prize to Barack Obama for his promotion of nuclear non-proliferation, climate change, and reaching out to the Muslim world. And that's something that he's definitely done. He's definitely reached out to the Muslim world. He definitely has not reached out to our U.S. veterans, to our American people. There has been hope for the Muslim world, and there has been change drastically for the American people. And now this Nobel Peace Prize winner, the same guy who wants open borders to let attacks happen in the U.S. like we've seen in, say, Paris, Nice, Belgium, Berlin, all around Europe, he wants those attacks to happen here. This is the same guy that wants to start World War III, a nuclear holocaust. But luckily, President-elect Donald Trump has taken the high road. He'd rather have an ally out of Vladimir Putin. He'd rather make Russia-U.S. relations much stronger. And we also have Vladimir Putin on the other side, who is willing to take the high road as well. Now, if you look back to this, it says President Obama expels 35 Russian diplomats in Cold War deja vu, as everybody, including American people, will be glad to see the last of this hapless administration. This was tweeted out yesterday by the Russian embassy in the UK. And now we have a new article up by Zero Hedge. Putin stunner. We will not expel anyone. We refuse to sink to kitchen diplomacy. Bravo. Trump, Putin taking the high road and showing and exposing Barack Obama truly for what he is, a piece of filth. Following this morning's reports that Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov would recommend to Russia President Vladimir Putin a retaliation in kind and expel 35 American diplomats, saying that we cannot leave such acts unanswered. Reciprocity is part of diplomatic law, with Putin spokesman Peskov adding that there is no doubt that Russia's adequate and mere response will make Washington officials feel very uncomfortable as well. But it was ultimately up to Putin to decide what to do. And today, he came out and there was a stunning reversal. The Russian leader took the high road, rejected the Lavrov proposal, and in a statement posted by the Kremlin said that Russia won't expel any Americans in retaliation to U.S. moves in a brutal demonstration just to show how irrelevant Obama is. And that is what he is, irrelevant. I don't think that we're going to be on the verge of World War III if both Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump know that this is just Obama grasping for whatever he can to remain relevant these last 20-something days that are left. It's pretty pathetic, and it's quite disgusting to see how this guy has gone from this Nobel Peace Prize winner to, hey, let's go start a war and end life as we know it. That'll be good. You know, it's mind-blowing to see that. And from a military standpoint, I don't think many generals out there would even listen to Obama on this. And second of all, you got to go through Congress. I mean, does anybody really want to risk the chance of us going into nuclear war? Well, if it does happen, remember, Nobel Peace Prize winner started World War III.
So, yeah, I don't know. Who knows what'll happen? It seems to me like Putin is kind of looking over Obama's pushes to try and start a nuclear war or a World War III before he's out of the office. And even after he's out of office, I have a feeling he's going to go slipping right into the UN and fit real good in there. And who knows, maybe he might actually turn out to be the Antichrist. I don't know. I'm not saying that he is. I'm just saying that he seems like he's trying to move toward a more biblical kind of prophecy kind of thing, where Israel gets divided or whatever. I don't know. All I know is he is, if you really look at how he runs things, he really is a man of lawlessness. And the things that he does is anti-Christ, whether it's the spirit of the Antichrist or eventually could turn into being one, I don't know. All I know is things with him are just, it's always the opposite of good. It's always the opposite of the right thing. It's always the wrong thing. It's always bad. And somehow people still like the guy. I don't get it. I don't care about his color. All I care about is his content of his character, as Martin Luther King would have said. And his content of his character is not showing any good fruit or bearing any good Christian fruit if he's a Christian. So, I don't know. That's just my opinion. Take it for whatever you want. But the thing is the Pope has been saying all kinds of crazy stuff lately too, and they're trying to unite, and then there's a 70 nations thing where they're trying to divide up Israel. It's a big mess, okay? And some of the stuff is biblical sounding, and it's creepy. Who knows? I don't know. All I can say is, aside from all of this, is we need to get our houses in order. We need to prepare. We need to get right with the Lord. We need to be prepared for His coming. Because that means we have to start living the life of a Christian. A real Christian. Not a fake one. Not one that goes to church on Sunday, says he's a Christian all week long. He's just whatever, anything goes. No, I'm saying a real Christian. One that wants to help people. One that wants to be a servant. One that wants to love even their enemy. And like I said, pray for our leaders. Pray for Donald Trump. Because I worry that he's going to have an assassin coming after him with all these hate Trump pages on Facebook. And they always threatening to kill him and stuff, which is ridiculous, like I said. I mean, this is all, it's going over. I mean, there's a spirit in this country of revenge. Maybe peace is getting taken from the earth. I don't know. I know the Bible talks about a time when peace is taken from the earth. And that's not a good thing. And that in that time, it's like everyone just, it sounds to me like the days of Noah, when everyone was all day long, all they could think about is hate and anger and, war and destruction, and that's making the world a violent place. Well, that sounds like in the end times when peace is taken from the earth. I see the two, and I can't help but, think that they're mirroring one another, And so I don't know. It's just, times are just weird, these are strange times. And I mean, I'll get more into some other strange stuff on other shows, but I'm just saying that these topics are ones that kind of were bothering me in the past few weeks, and I wanted to talk about them. And there's plenty of other topics I'd like to cover, but I don't want this to turn into some news show or a show where I'm just constantly beating you over the head with my politics, because I'm just a person, okay? Everybody's got an opinion. The only difference between me and a regular person is I figured out how to make a podcast. And even with that, I barely know how to do that, okay? So, whatever. Don't take my words to be, the gospel, obviously. But the thing is there's a lot of crazy stuff happening these days. There's a lot of, I think there's a lot of doorways open in this world, and a lot of demons are entering, and they're making this world more of a darker place because of that. And this country seems to be, it's like we have a chance, but then we have like this other side where there's a smaller group of people, but they're the loudest and the proudest, I should say. And they're just basically a bunch of anti-everything. They hate everything. They want to destroy everything. It's just anti-everything. Anything that is not of God goes, and anything that is of God is offensive. And this country is just, everyone's offended. I mean, if you put up a nativity scene or whatever, I know, idols, whatever you want to call it, okay. But it's basically, most Christians see that as us honoring the Lord Jesus Christ. So you got to admit that that's what they see that as. I don't think they see it as some pagan thing that they're doing some pagan ritual over it. No, they see that as most people want to honor Jesus Christ, and that's why they have this nativity set, out. But a lot of these crazy people out there are just going, oh my God, that's offensive. Meanwhile, they let Muslims come into your schools and teach you how to pray. Really? I mean, so praying to Allah is okay, but praying to the God of the Bible or Jesus Christ is not okay. What in the world, what kind of a world do I live in? And I know a lot of people say that's wrong too, and a lot of people agree with me on that. But I'm just saying that everybody's offended. They want Baphomet to be standing outside of public building. Take down the 10 Commandments. But they want Baphomet? Really? Do we really want to get into a satanic society? Do we really want to have the morals of a Satanist? Because if we really, as a society, want that, that means at some point we'll be eating each other and killing each other and sacrificing our children. Because that's what Satanism is. That's why pedophiles are starting to come out. That's why this pedophilia stuff is starting to become more popular. Because that's the next thing. Oh, they were born that way. That's what people are going to say. Eventually, you watch. Mark my words. You watch. They will do that. Eventually, if we let them go this way long enough, they're going to be saying that, oh, pedophiles were born this way. We should feel sorry for them. And then they're going to start marrying children and then doing whatever. And boy, God is not going to be happy. And any Christian that starts taking part in that, like they're taking part in having these gay pastors, maybe there's going to be a pedophile pastor at some point in the near future. And boy, I can't imagine how God is going to let that world go on. I can't imagine it. But that seems to be where it's going. Well, whatever. I'm not going to sit there and harp on that. It's just these are some things that really upset me because I can see how the season is turning, you know. I can see where it's going. And it's not going anywhere good. So hopefully when Trump gets in, hopefully there's some changes. I don't know. And I'm not putting my faith in Trump. I'm just saying that hopefully there's going to be some changing of the guard, maybe some better things, and maybe we should just pray for these people. We should be doing that anyway, as Christians. So, I mean, that's really all I have for this episode. So, thank you for listening.
If you enjoy this show, please feel free to share it. You can find us on Spreaker, iTunes, and most podcatchers. And if you'd like to support the show, please leave a review on iTunes or Spreaker or wherever you find this show. And for more information on this show, go to the Fringianity Underground podcast Facebook group and like us. Images will be posted there for this show and others as well. Please check Spreaker or wherever you get this podcast every Sunday evening for new episodes. And thank you for listening.